Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim. Last time we offloaded from the tutorial, we very temporarily stashed some stuff at Alvar's house and sold everything else, and we bought a pickaxe and set out to properly explore. So now we're basically ready to start the game in earnest. Let me give a couple of acknowledgements before I really launch into this. My character build, at least pre-legendary, is basically the exact same as one devised by Hayravon in his character creation FAQ, available on GameFAQs. So thank you to him. I find the build is very powerful, works very well. Although I'm not following his guide for how to get there, I like the build itself. And second, I had to spend a little time checking for quest conflicts, and I'll have to make a couple of adjustments to his order of doing things, but Thunderstorm 2, spelled with a Z, posted a walkthrough for Skyrim on GameFAQs, which it's very bare bones and basically refers you to the UESP, but what it does do very well is outline a route through the entire game that allows you to see everything and avoids most quest conflicts. I'll have to make a couple of adjustments, but the route I take through the game, the order in which I explore locations, is basically going to be the route he mapped out in his guide. So thank you to him for that assistance. Now, let's begin. We're at the exit from Helgen Keep, and we want to start out by marching straight west, off-roading it a little bit, although we don't actually have to do that. In fact, let's not. Let's stay down here on the trail, just because I want to make sure I don't miss any ingredients. But keep your eyes peeled off to the left. There aren't any mushrooms on that log, so I don't need to worry about it. But keep your eyes to the left a little bit. Around this next bend, you can see a bit of an offshoot up past this tree stump, which I've already harvested. Yeah, I think it's up here. Make my way up here into this foggy, snowy patch, and we find a couple points of interest. A thistle branch, not that interesting, but there are 3 corundum veins here. Now, I might not have a smelter yet, but 9 corundum ore is always useful, because I eventually need a ton of corundum ingots and a ton of steel ingots to build everything for Hearthfire. Now, quick note about mining. A lot of people know this, but you don't. Let's do the mining animation once and only once, just so you can see how painfully slow it is. Let's hope we get a gem. Any given mining time, you have a 10% chance of getting a random gem, and that gem type is randomly determined by basically a table of possibilities set according to your level. So this early I can probably only get garnets. We got our 3 corundum ores there. Now, from now on, just whack the ore vein with your pickaxe 9 times. Same effect. You mine the ore vein, but it's much faster than that stupid mining animation. We'll do that with this one as well. Hey, we got a garnet! Just like I predicted. Now, you might have seen that campsite I was eyeballing, but in order to get there, rather than dropping in this bizarre back way, there's a road that goes there. I'm gonna go take it. So we're back on the trail we followed Hadvar down. as soon as we get back to the main road, really, we can hang a left here past the sign. Onto another branch of the road. Got a thistle here on the left. On the right, a Mora tapanella, a red mountain flower, and a blue mountain flower. And then as we come up here, notice a bit of an offshoot. Get my greatsword out, roll up here. There are going to be 3 bandits in this camp, and at my level they should all just be basic bandits. Easy to deal with. There's one down. And I'm not loving his shield bashing. They can barely hurt me. And 3. Perfect. I think two-handed went up. It went to the kill cam, but I heard the drum beat. Yes, two-handed up to 28. Now let's loot the 3 corpses. This guy, 3 steel arrows, 16 iron arrows, 7 gold, a hunting bow, which is superior to the longbow, so we'll swap that out when we get back to town. An iron fur shoes, fur bracers, iron dagger, fur armor, and I guess I should look at the fur gear. It's inferior, but armor 25, weight 6, value 50, armor 7, weight 1, value 10, and armor 7, weight 2, value 4. Iron arrows are 8 damage, weightless, value 1. Steel arrows are 10 damage, weightless, value 2. The pickaxe, if you end up using it in combat, is 6 damage, weight 10, value 5. And the hunting bow is 8 damage, weight 7, value 50, which is new to us. And finally, he has Treasure Map 1, weight 0, value 0, map to a hidden treasure near Riverwood. When I say all the notes and all the letters, that includes all of the various treasure maps, which are actually a hidden, unmarked quest that doesn't show up in your journal. So let's peek at the map. You can see the town of Riverwood there on the bottom. X marks the spot across the river from it. There's a hollow stump where apparently a treasure has been stashed. Lovely. Now let's go loot the second corpse. Remember I said you could get heavy armor really fast? This is the guy I was talking about. We've seen an iron shield, but he has iron armor, armor 27, weight 30, value 125. We already have an iron helmet, but he has iron boots, armor 11, weight 6, value 25, iron gauntlets, armor 11, weight 5, value 25, and a steel war axe, damage 10, weight 12, value 55. I'm gonna put on the iron armor now and start leveling heavy armor in earnest. I'm just gonna fight, and when heavy armor hits 100, whenever that is, I'll switch to light armor, which is the one I'm gonna perk out. Third, iron warhammer, 9 gold, fur armor, and hide boots, armor 6, weight 1, value 10. Now, let's raise conjuration a little bit, using these 3 corpses. Punch dude 1 4 times. Conjuration increased to 19. That's now lovely. This a surprise. Not too bad. Let's raise the other one, and we won't be able to do this for too long, just because this spell is so weak. It can only raise, like, the first 2 tiers of creature. So I think these bandits are all level 1, so it works on them. And bandit outlaws are level 6, and they're the strongest iteration that Raise Zombie works on. But we'll enjoy it while we can. 2 punches. Conjuration to 21. Lovely. Murder him for great justice. Now let's go to number 3. Come on. There we go. Actually, I could be sneak attacking these guys. Conjuration raised to 22. But I'm worried that might kill them before I get that 4th punch. And I'm more concerned with raising Conjuration because I don't have another way to do it just yet. So we were at 17. We got 5 points of Conjuration in, a minute and a half there, which is not too shabby. Now before I loot their actual camp, tucked away back here, there's an iron ore vein. Let's get after it. Re-equip the greatsword, although I don't need it out. Alright, now let's search their camp. Start with this center area. There's a kettle, which we've seen before. Over here to the left is a bucket, and there were some in Riverwood, but this is your first wood chopping block. I'll actually do it later, but basically the only use firewood has in basic Skyrim is you can sell it to any lumber mill owner for, I think, 5 gold per piece of wood, and you get 2 pieces per chop, and every animation gives you 3 chops. So if you sit through the animation, you'll end up with 6 pieces of firewood, which you can trade to a mill owner for 30 gold. But firewood gets much more useful if you have Dawn Guard installed. In fact, it'll be my primary way of raising smithing, because Dawn Guard, I'm just running around because I hate sitting still, Dawn Guard, you can use firewood and pair it with 1 ingot of whichever type to create arrows for yourself. And that's by far the most experientially effective way to raise smithing in terms of experience bang for your ingot buck. And it also, gives you arrows to use for archery. So that's what most of my wood will be going to. Expect to see a lot of wood chopping. Now, here's a tanning rack, which we'll go over the actual uses of these later, but basically you can create leather from pelts and leather strips from leather at a tanning rack. So on this stump back here we have 1, 2, 3 tankards, a seared slaughterfish and a wooden plate. Seared slaughterfish is new to us, but it weighs 1/10 of a pound, value 5, restores 5 points of health. 2 more wooden plates, a wooden bowl, a coin purse with 21 gold in it. Inside the satchel, 5 gold. Now let's start with the tent on the right. We have black mage robes, 0 armor, 1 weight, value 153. These have the same enchantment on the novice robes we have stashed back there, so we can just sell these. Fortify Magicka regen, 50%. Grab this bucket. Note that you can sleep on any of these bedrolls. They will give you the rested bonus if you do so, which makes all skills increase 5% faster for 8 hours. In here, a wooden plate, a tankard, and a large sack with 5 tomatoes. Weight 1/10 of a pound, value 4, restore 1 point of health. Finally, in here, we have a tankard, an end table, within which we have 5 gold and a piece of charcoal, weight half a pound, value 2, and a book, Night Falls on Sentinel, weight 1, value 50. One-handed increased to 21. Yes, Night Falls on Sentinel is our first skill book, and it raises one-handed. I'm going to make note of that in my notes, that we have found it. And it shows up in a few places. It shows up in my list of all the books we have to eventually find. It shows up in my list of available free skill boosts. We have 4 one-handed skill books left to find, and 7 one-handed skill boosts. Not counting the Augma Infinium, which I typically devote to the stealth path. And one other thing, you should hold on to this, don't sell it, because you have to turn it in to Rustleif in Dawnstar for his quest. And it spawns one in another dungeon when you take the quest, and you can go get it then, but if you find it earlier, you can just turn in that copy. So I'm just going to hold this. It'll be a long time until I go to Dawnstar, but when I do, I can complete the quest instantly. So let's read the book. Night Falls on Sentinel by Boali. No music played in the nameless tavern in Sentinel, and indeed there was very little sound except for discreet, cautious murmurs of conversation, the soft pad of the barmaid's feet on stone, and the delicate slurping of the regular patrons, tongues lapping at their flagons, eyes focused on nothing at all. If anyone were less otherwise occupied, the sight of the young Redguard woman in a fine black velvet cape might have aroused surprise, even suspicion. As it were, the strange figure, out of place in an underground cellar so modest it had no sign, blended into the shadows. "Are you Jomick?" The stout middle-aged man with a face older than his years looked up and nodded. He returned to his drink. The young woman took the seat next to him. "My name is Habala," she said, and pulled out a small bag of gold, placing it next to his mug. "Sure it be," snarled Jomick, and met her eyes again. "Who do you want dead?" She did not turn away, but merely asked, "Is it safe to talk here?" "No one cares about nobody else's problems but their own here. You could take off your cuirass and dance bare-breasted on the table, and no one would even spit," the man smiled. "So who do you want dead?" "No one, actually," said Habala. "The truth is, I only want someone removed for a while. Not harmed, you understand, and that's why I need a professional. You come highly recommended." "Who you been talking to?" asked Jomick dully, returning to his drink. "A friend of a friend of a friend of a friend." "One of them friends don't know what he's talking about," grumbled the man. "I don't do that anymore." Sorry about that hiccup. People in real life talking to me. Habala quietly took out another purse of gold and then another, placing them at the man's elbow. He looked at her for a moment and then poured the gold out and began counting. As he did, he asked, "Who do you want removed?" "Just a moment," smiled Habala, shaking her head. "Before we talk details, I want to know that you're a professional and you won't harm this person very much, and that you'll be discreet." "You want discreet?" The man paused in his counting. "All right, I'll tell you about an old job of mine. It's been, by Archay, I can hardly believe it, more'n 20 years, and no one but me is alive who had anything to do with the job. This is back afore the time of the War of Bettany, remember that?" "I was just a baby." "Course you was," Jomick smiled. "Everyone knows that King Lotan had an older brother Greclith what died, right? And then he's got his older sister Obki, what married that king fella in Daggerfall. But the truth's that he had 2 elder brothers." "Really?" Habala's eyes glistened with interest. "No lie," he chuckled. "Weedy feeble fella called Arthago, the king and queen's firstborn. Anyhow, this prince was heir to the throne, which his parents wasn't too thrilled about. But then the queen, she squeezed out 2 more princes who looked a lot more fit. That's when me and my boys got hired on, to make it look like the first prince got took off by the Underking or some such story." "I had no idea," the young woman whispered. "Of course you didn't. That's the point." Jomick shook his head. "Discretion, like you said. We bagged the boy, dropped him off deep in an old ruin, and that was that. No fuss. Just a couple fellas, a bag, and a club." "That's what I'm interested in," said Habala. "Technique. My friend who needs to be taken away is weak also, like this prince. What is the club for?" "It's a tool. So many things what was better in the past ain't around no more, just 'cause people today prefer ease of use to what works right. Let me explain. There are 71 prime pain centers in an average fella's body. Elves and Khajiit, being so sensitive and all, got 3 and 4 more respectively. Argonians and Slodes almost as many as 52 and 67. Jomick used his short stubby finger to point out each region on Habala's body. 6 in your forehead, 2 in your brow, 2 on your nose, 7 in your throat, 10 in your chest, 9 in your abdomen, 3 on each arm, 12 in your groin, 4 in your favored leg, 5 in the other." "That's 63, replied Habala. "No, it's not," growled Jomick. "Yes, it is," the young lady cried back, indignant that her mathematical skills were being questioned. 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 7 plus 10 plus 9 plus 3 for one arm and 3 for the other, plus 12 plus 4 plus 5, 63. I must have left some out, shrugged Jomek. The important thing is that to become skilled with a staff or club, you gotta be a master of these pain centers. Done right, a light tap could kill or knock out without so much as a bruise. Fascinating, smiled Habala. And no one ever found out? Why would they? The boy's parents, the king and queen, they're both dead now. The other children always thought their brother got carried off by the underking. That's what everyone thinks. And all my partners are dead. Of natural causes? Ain't nothing natural that ever happens in the bay, you know that. One fella got sucked up by one of them Selenu. Another died of that same plague that took the queen and Prince Greclith. Another fella got himself beat up to death by a burglar. You gotta keep low, out of sight, like me, if you want to stay alive. Jomek finished counting the coins. You must want this fella out of the way bad. Who is it? It's better if I show you, said Habala, standing up. Without a look back, she strode out of the nameless tavern. Jomek drained his beer and went out. The night was cool, with an unrestrained wind surging off the water of the Iliac Bay, sending leaves flying like whirling shards. Habala stepped out of the alleyway next to the tavern and gestured to him. As he approached her, the breeze blew open her cape, revealing the armor beneath and the crest of the King of Sentinel. The fat man stepped back to flee, but she was too fast. In a blur, he found himself in the alley on his back, the woman's knee pressed firmly against his throat. The king has spent years since he took the throne looking for you and your collaborators, Jomek. His instructions to me what to do when I found you were not specific, but you've given me an idea. From her belt, Habala removed a small, sturdy cudgel. A drunk stumbling out of the bar heard a whimpered moan, accompanied by a soft whisper coming from the darkness of the alley. Let's keep better count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Now, normally I would do a couple more things, but my wife wants to go on a run. So I'm going to run to town, offload, maybe see if I can do any more alchemy, but I didn't find much in the way of ingredients, so probably not. Which is fine. And then I'll end this video with it being very short. And there's one other thing I need to do now that I'm back here, and I'm actually glad I had to come back early. Let's go to the wardrobe. Now, what do I need to drop in here? I need to stash the hunting bow. I can pull out the longbow and sell it. I need to stash my Imperial Light Armor. And that's it. Oh, and I need to take out my usable alchemy ingredients. That will include the blue mountain flowers, the red mountain flowers, the thistle branches, and that's it. Let's stash Nightfalls on Sentinel, stash the corundum ore and the garnet and the iron ores. Alright. Now before we leave here, just because we don't, I think they're supposed to, but it's a little glitch that they don't, give you a key to the house, and you need it if this is your friendly spot, so let's just pickpocket a key to Alvor's house. That way we can make our way in and out whenever we want to. So with that all done, let's see what we're able to sell to Alvor.
Within reason, looking to protect yourself.
I'll talk to everybody when I'm focused on clearing out Riverwood. For now, I'm just interested in offloading, so give him the Iron Dagger, Iron Warhammer, Longbow, and Steel War Axe. Hold on to all arrows, because they're weightless and pretty much always useful. 2 fur armor, fur bracers, fur shoes, hide boots, iron helmet, speech increased to 25, iron shield, and charcoal.
Until next time.
Are you in trouble?
Let's go visit Lucan to offload junk. Technically you can sell food to Orgnar, but he only has 100 gold, so it's not terribly worthwhile. He can just sell everything to Lucan. Lucan will buy these black mage robes. We'll give those to him. Remember, we need to keep a haunting brew mead in our inventory, but we'll sell him the raw rabbit leg, the seared slaughterfish, and the 5 tomatoes. We'll sell him treasure map 1. The treasure chest isn't there by default, but once you read the treasure map, it spawns, and you don't have to keep the map in your inventory. So get a little experience that way. 2 buckets, a kettle, 5 tankards, a wooden bowl, and 4 wooden plates.
I better get back cleaning this.
And now, quickly, an alchemy session. Shouldn't take too long. I barely found anything. We are going to have to kick Delphine off of the alchemy lab. Get out the way. Alright. So I have 9 blue mountain flowers, 2 butterfly wings, 1 Mora Tapanella, 3 red mountain flowers, and 19 thistle branches. Just plugging that into my app. And let's see what, if anything, I'm now able to do. Alright, well, I can make a couple of cheap little potions. More tapanella and red mountain flower. Gives me no new effects. And blue mountain flower with butterfly wing. That gives me restore health on butterfly wing. Not too bad. Learned 1 new effect. And that's it. Very basic, but, you know, we got a tick of alchemy experience and a little more gold from selling those 3 potions to Lucan. Let's go do that.
My sister. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
Until you do their quest, the Golden Claw, the Riverwood Trader is open 24/7, which is pretty convenient. Well, we sell him those 3 potions. He's got plenty of gold. I'm gonna offload my ingredients back in Alvar's house.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I...
I think it's hilarious when the kids act like they own the house. Alright, yep, nothing else to offload.
do for you, friend?
Make yourself unspoken for.
So with
you.
that
Don't
done,
have any ideas.
I'm going to fast travel to the Guardian Stones just to speed things up a little bit. Argonians are the reptilian natives of the province of Blackmarsh. I'm just going to make my way back to that bandit camp and then call it a short video. Don't worry, I know we haven't gotten the treasure from that map we found. I'm basically just making a little circle that'll take me back to Riverwood. I'm going to hit the Shrine of Talos, just west of the camp, the Standing Stones a little bit farther west. Then I'm going to loop back to the Hunter's Camp, right by the Guardian Stones. Then I'm going to go to Anissa's cabin. You can see it's the dark mark just past the Guardian Stones up there in my compass. Anissa's cabin is going to be my starter house. It has an alchemy lab and an arcane enchanter, and plenty of storage space, and a usable bed. So long as it doesn't glitch. It sometimes glitches, but that's okay. And then, after I have that house, then I'm going to loop back to Riverwood and properly clear it, taking everything I want from everyone's houses, talking to everyone, doing all the available work and quests, all that jazz. So that's kind of where we're headed. So here we are, back on the road at the base of the bandit camp, and I'm gonna save and leave it here. This has been Let's Play Skyrim. Next time we'll keep exploring. That's really all we're doing right now. Nothing focused, no quest. So I will see you then. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.